All right. Well, welcome back to another episode of Tales of Crowd. Today is Lucky 13. Today we talk about our encounters with luck, the country bears, and Space Chainsaw Massacre as we pitch a movie. What else? I don't know. Keep listening to the podcast. All right.
Top of the morning to
Top
ya.
of the morning to ya.
It's St. Patty's Day.
Potatoes.
That's offensive.
Hold on, let me think of an Irish person. Jack Rayner. Jack Rayner.
Really?
Yeah.
Could have gone with Conor McGregor.
Oh, yeah.
Liam Neeson.
There's this one guy that I really like. Who's the vampire from Preacher? He's in Misfits. Joe Gilgan. Ah.
You see, you got me there because I haven't seen either of those.
Really? You never saw Preacher?
No, it's on the list.
You would like it.
I know.
I know.
I know that there's a guy named Assface.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, he has such a sad character story.
He has an ass for a face. I'd be sad too.
But he wasn't born like that.
Oh.
Yeah, it's anyways, I know we're not supposed to talk about it, but today is St. Patrick's Day and we're doing offensive Irish voices.
Well, I mean, you're doing an offensive one.
Yeah, I don't do impressions that well.
So let me ask you this. While we're on the topic of St. Patrick's Day, do you know what it's about?
I know that St. Patrick got the snakes out of Ireland. He was a saint. I know that.
Yeah, he got the snakes out of Ireland.
Yeah.
There are no snakes in Ireland.
Because of St. Patrick. You're welcome. What?
You know what? If that's the case, then, hey, America, I got rid of all of our... What's an animal that we don't have here?
Emus?
No, we got some.
Well, we got some. We took some, but we don't have them. You know what I mean?
I mean,
you understand what I'm saying?
They're touching our soil. I would have to kill them to get rid of them.
Oof.
There's no way you can send those back. They're not going to take them back.
I don't like thinking about emus. Let's move on to a different animal.
I would say platypus, but there's only Dale of them in America.
Well, yeah, that's the problem. There's so many zoos in America.
There's only one that has platypi in it.
Yeah, but there's so many zoos in America, so there's bound to be, just crazy animals. Do we have Tasmanian devils?
Yes.
That makes sense.
They're pretty cool.
They're so cool.
But, I mean, if we just talked to the San Diego Zoo and got them to kick out the platypi for a little bit, I'd be like, hey, I got rid of all the platypi, make me a saint.
Yeah. Why do we celebrate St. Patrick's Day in America?
It's an excuse to drink.
I mean, yeah.
Do you think that they actually drink like this in Ireland?
Yes.
Well, on a regular basis.
Regular basis?
Regular day basis.
Okay.
Look, it's St. Patrick's Day. I've already had a little...
I think you've used the wrong analogy, my friend. Call back.
So this is the season finale. You know, why not? It's episode 13. So it's episode 13 and it's St. Patrick's Day.
It's the luckiest day with the unluckiest number.
So obviously, we're going to talk about luck.
You honestly have some of the worst luck I've ever seen, Phil.
It's so weird. Honestly,
Yeah.
I've talked about it before. I want to go and check and see if I've been cursed.
Yeah, we talked about this a couple times.
The day that Russia invaded the Ukraine, my car died.
Oh, is that the same day?
It's the same day.
That's funny.
And then, my mom was like, well, you can use my Mercedes. And, most people would be like, oh, sweet, I get to drive around a convertible Mercedes. But I'm like, oh, I got to drive that piece of shit around.
Yeah.
It's got so many problems with it. And, of course, gas prices started going up even higher, and it takes premium.
Ooh.
And it has terrible, it goes through gas like it's nothing.
Yeah. Have you seen that video of a guy filling up his RV tank? Oh my
that's
gosh.
heartbreaking.
It was $700.
Oh.
I think it came up to, because he used premium too.
Oh.
Can you imagine?
I had a quarter of a tank left, and it was $50.
Really?
Yeah, to fill it up from quarter of a tank.
Huh. That's kind of... How big is your tank?
I don't know.
It seems like it's maybe 15. It seems kind of
Something like that,
smaller.
probably. Yeah.
It is a fancy car, so of course they're going to make it a smaller thing.
Yeah, it's a convertible that can't convert because it's broken.
Yeah.
Let's see. One of the windows is broken. It can go down, but to get it to go back up, you have to press the middle of the button, not the top of the button.
Okay.
If you press the top of the button, it doesn't do anything.
It locks, or just it doesn't do anything?
It just doesn't do anything.
I don't think that makes sense.
It doesn't. And I found it out in the middle of like a storm.
Ooh.
Because I was at a cookout and it was like raining outside.
Yeah.
And so I was like trying to drive away and I was trying to put up the window and the window wasn't going up and I had to call my mom about it.
Yeah.
It wasn't fun.
I don't know why, but that reminded me of one time. It was like during the summer, and it was like when I first got my license, and I thought my AC was broke. Like, I thought it was genuinely broke. I was making it go cold and cold. It wouldn't do anything. And it was just like hot ass summer, so you can only drive with the windows down because it would just, I got leather seats in there.
Yeah.
So it would just get bad. And me and my buddy Kirkland, we were driving, we were doing a road trip, and it started raining. And it was a sauna. It literally was. Like, we were sweating our asses off. We weren't wearing shirts. It was gross. It was weird. And you're sitting, and you can't sit back because, again, leather seats. And it just got so bad, and I finally got home, and I told Pop about it. I was like, this is terrible. I don't know, like, why the AC is broke. And he was like, well, did you press the AC button? I was like, yeah, I was pressing buttons, Pop. He was like, no. Like, there's, like, an AC button. You got to make sure it's lit up. And I didn't know that. Turns out my AC was fine. I was just an idiot.
I've never had a car with working AC.
It's fucking...
I've got this streak going of bad luck where it's anytime I play a game with Roland, no matter what the game is, I will never win.
Yeah, especially if it's luck, then if
it's a luck-based game, I'm immediately done.
Dice are your worst enemy.
Yeah.
I swear.
What was that one card game where we had...
Are you talking about the
card race?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that game was so fun.
I love that game. I wish I could get one chance at winning at it.
Yeah. So what the game is that you get the aces out of the deck and you kind of like line them together, and you next to it you put 7 cards down, kind of parallel to the cards, and each time
you flip over a card. Yeah. From the rest of the deck, and whatever suit matches it, that ace moves forward.
Yeah, and once the card, like the aces all like go past the line, whatever card was next to them originally, you flip that card over, and that suit brings them back. I think at the start of it, I was like, all right, choose your fighter, guys. Choose diamonds if you want to be rich. Choose clubs if you want power. Choose spades if you want skill or something like that. And then heart was love. Yeah.
And I think I was like diamond.
No, I'm pretty sure you picked hearts from the get-go.
Was it hearts?
Yeah, you picked hearts and you were like, I want to fight for love. That's what I want to fight for. So you picked love. And you lost every time.
I lost every single time, and then we took like a small break. And
by the way, we put money into this game.
Oh yeah, no,
That's the big part
lost.
About this.
I mean, it was just like pennies and nickels and stuff like that.
It got to full dollars with you though.
Yeah, I lost probably about $10, which doesn't sound like a whole lot, but when it's pennies and nickels and dimes, it's a lot.
And we kept trying to say like, Phil, just change it. And
I had the not blackjack logic, the roulette. I had the roulette logic.
Yeah.
It has to land on mine once.
Yeah.
Statistically, it has to land on mine once.
It's true.
We played easily 30 games.
I don't know about that, but it was a lot. We played a lot.
And never once did hearts get close. And then you were like, all right, Phil, you gotta...
No, you did get close one time. I think you were like a card or two away. And then we finally got it catching up, and you kept going back and back and back. That was one of the breaking...
rough ones.
Yeah.
And then I think that one was the breaking point where you were like, Phil, you got to change.
Yeah,
and I said, fine, I'll go with diamonds. That round, hearts won, and I lost it.
Yeah, by a long run too.
It was like I was like, there's card manipulation. Someone's counting cards. Something's going on.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that was
every like we'll play like the Wii.
Yeah,
it's like Wii's own version. Of Mario Party. Basically,
it's called Board Game Island, and you roll these dice. Yeah, it would never go good for you.
It was always like. I would say like that was probably there was one game that I would win at just because I was like able to capture the luck on that one.
Uh-huh.
But everything else I sucked at.
Do you remember what game?
It was the one where you had to get a picture of all the people's smiling faces.
Oh.
When they were looking at the camera. That was the only game I was good at.
Yeah, and that's a really luck-based game.
It's just, you have to be lucky enough to get all 8 people to look at the camera.
Yeah. Do you have any, like, what are some other terrible luck stories?
Oh, man. I mean, it's just one of those situations where it's like, I'll go somewhere and I'll be waiting in line and, you know, I'll get my food and everything, and then the person behind me is like, oh, you're the 100th customer of the day.
Yeah.
You get a free snow cone or whatever. And I'm just like, man.
I remember, this is my favorite luck story of yours. We all got together as a friend group, and we did like a Deadpool type thing for the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, the new one that came out in 2021. We did like a.
Well, that's what it is, a Deadpool. Like, we tried to make a list of. We would try to get the first Dale. I'll take a drink anyways.
Yeah, you
first
take a drink.
Dale deaths. We try to make it as much in order as possible.
See, I wanted to go through and do all of them, and then put like a quarter to each one. But then you guys were like, no, that's too complicated. There's so many characters. And I said, all right, fine. We'll choose the top Dale, or like the first Dale to die.
Yeah.
I think it was like $1. Like, I think we had to put $1 down.
Yeah.
So everyone kind of went in for it.
We'll put a picture up on the Twitter, but it was cool. It was like a fun idea. We're like, let's do this.
And, you know, none of us had seen it yet. It had like just come out on HBO Max, like the premiere thing.
Yeah.
And so I was so excited to watch it, just using my like detective skills just based off of the trailer.
Yeah.
You know, obviously, one of the number one characters that barely shows up in the trailer is Weasel.
Yeah.
And he's if you don't know what he looks like, he's like a gross 6 foot tall weasel man.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, easy. He dies first.
He looks like if somebody put a Shih Tzu through like a shit pipe.
Yeah. Yeah, a little bit. But, and then I think yours was Pete Davidson's character dies first.
Yeah, he dies first. I don't remember, you know, it's crazy. I only remember the first. But
those are the only 2 lists that I remember. Everyone else had like some other characters.
Yeah, everybody was doing like the weird ones first. Like they knew that wasn't like the
Like
what was
Mongal.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
Or Captain Boomerang or something like that. I think someone said Polka Dot Man first, and I was like, ah.
Nah, he was in way too much of the marketing to die early on.
But we watched the movie.
Yes.
Spoiler alert if you haven't seen it.
I'm so sorry.
Which, by the way, if you haven't seen it, you definitely should.
It's such a good movie.
It's perfect.
Fucking James Gunn, man.
I've seen it like 4 times.
Yeah.
Like, while it was first on HBO Max. Weasel dies.
Like, right...
almost immediately.
I think even before they get to the battle zone.
They don't even make it to the battle zone. They all jump out of the helicopter into the ocean.
Yeah.
And then, like, it's like, oh, Weasel can't swim.
He fucking drowns.
He drowns immediately.
Right at the beginning.
2 minutes into the movie, and I'm up screaming with glee. I'm running around doing a victory lap.
Because that's a really good... If you have your first one, then you're guaranteed to win.
It was no matter what. It was like, even if it's the first one first, you win.
Almost, yeah, pretty much.
And I was so happy. I was running around, pumping my fist in the air. It wasn't even the money. It wasn't the money for me. It was just the moral knowing that I finally got one.
And I can be a very competitive person, but even then, I knew you needed it. And I was like, good for Phil.
It was like you and Patrick were like, yeah, you guys did it.
Yeah, even Campbell, she gets super competitive. And she was like, you know what? Good for him. Like, she like nodded, gave like a smirk.
Yeah.
But we were all excited.
And then, 2 hours later,
watched a fantastic movie.
Incredible story, beautiful, love King Shark, love all the characters.
Yeah.
And then, the movie ends and they leave the battle and the title comes up and I'm sitting there and I'm like pumping my fist still. I'm like, yeah, I did it. I got through it.
I still can't believe I won, guys.
And then
I did it.
It cuts to like night on the island and I'm like, wait a minute. No. And it pans down to Weasel's body and I go, I swear to fucking God. I swear to God. Like, he coughs and water comes out and he gets up and he goes, and I jump out of my chair and start slamming my fists on the ground. I go, no, I earned this one.
And then by default, I won.
By default, Roland, the one person who didn't need to win, won, and you were apologizing that you won.
I did. I felt so bad.
You know what? You don't owe me anything. James Gunn, you son of a bitch. You owe me $1.
Fuck him.
You owe me $1 and a little bit of luck.
Really?
Like, I almost had it. I don't blame Sean Gunn either. He had to go through so much for that. It's all James Gunn.
By the way, was Sean Gunn in Peacemaker?
You know, haven't seen it.
Really?
It's just...
I've seen bits and clips. It's so good.
Yeah, I've seen a ton of bits and clips. I've watched a lot of the scenes with, like, Judo Master and Vigilante.
So my old college roommate texted me out of the blue, and he was like, hey, man, did you see Peacemaker? And I was like, I don't have HBO Max, but, like, I've seen bits and pieces. He was like, you remind me so much of Vigilante. And I didn't really know that much about it, and I was like, oh, wow, thanks. Yeah, he seems cute. And then I watched it. Vigilante is a fucking, like, psychopath.
Yeah.
He's, like, avid about, like, oh, yeah, I love to kill people. If I see somebody graffitiing, I have to do it. I have to kill them. And I was like, what the fuck? This is how you see me?
Well, I can definitely see, like, there was a scene where he was holding these, like, nurses at gunpoint.
Yeah.
And then they were like, well, we don't have to kill him. He's like, no, they've seen our faces. They know, like, you're giving away vital information about me. I have to kill them.
Yeah.
And it's like, we could just, like, tie them up and leave them around. And it's like, all right, fine, but no duct tape. I don't want to hurt them. It's like, so you're not willing to hurt them, but you're willing to kill them. It's like, well, duh. And I was like, yeah, no, like, that's some shit. Like, I could see Roland saying that.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, my mind doesn't work. Like, Pop has said this always, like, you always think that you think like everybody else, and everybody else thinks like you. But then I have conversations with people, and it's not that way at all. I am just always debating with everybody, being like, no, this is how this works.
Like the shoulders conversation.
The shoulders, we talked about this on the Katie episode. That's a little different, that's for sure, how that works. They don't have shoulders, and I'm not going to... They don't.
Comment on Twitter if you're team shoulders or team no shoulders.
Bro, I'll make a fucking t-shirt, and I will rep team no shoulder.
You know what? I'll make a t-shirt that's team shoulders.
Don't fuck with me, bro.
It's going to be great. It's going to have a little octopus on it.
Yeah, well, mine's... I haven't decided on the color yet, but watch out for it.
It's going to be great.
I'm going to be representing. Man.
You got one on me, I got one on you.
That's true. That's how it goes. Do you have a lot of intrusive thoughts?
What do you mean by intrusive thoughts?
Do you know what intrusive thoughts are?
So, what I've been led to believe that intrusive thoughts are is like where you look at something and you're like, oh, that looks hot. I want to touch it.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. It's just like your brain just shooting an idea, or like, for me, I'm a very visual person, so I full out see like me, jumping off a cliff, or me just like taking the steering wheel and like ramming into like ongoing traffic, just like crazy, drop kicking a baby. Are any of these things have you done? No, these are like intrusive thoughts. They're thoughts that go against what you've learned, and they're just kind of like there to like shock your system.
Okay, here's my problem.
Okay,
I have almost zero impulse control.
Okay.
So there are several people that I've just sent a video of me just like, I'll be boiling some water for like pasta or whatever, and I'll just look at that pot and I'll just put my fist in it.
You've never done that.
I've never sent you the video.
You put your hand in a boiling pot of water.
Just like really, like one of those things where you just kind of glance it and then you go, ah!
Oh my gosh. Yeah, why do you do that?
I don't know, it's funny.
No!
Like, I'll send someone a video and they're like, what's wrong with you? I don't know, did you laugh? And they're like, no! And I was like, well, I did.
Oh my gosh. No, I just like... I get them really bad. Like, driving is the fucking worst. Because it's not always about driving. It's about, like... My brain goes dark. My brain's a dick. I've said it for years. Like, it'll just, like, whisper things to me. Being like, hey, everybody hates you. Guess what? You're going to go home. Nobody called you. Your grandparents are dead.
Oh.
Congratulations. Something just blew up. Just, like, weird, dark shit.
Have I ever told you my joke about, like, when I'm driving? and I'll say, especially it works very well when like we're driving up to Boone or something like that, and it's on like those curvy mountain roads.
Oh, those roads are the fucking worst. I hate those.
So I had a joke when I was at Western. I would say, what's big, black, and has my hands on it?
Okay.
And I'd be going like 60 miles an hour or something like that. Maybe not 60 if it's like the curvy roads, but like if it's on the highway, I'll go 60, and I'll be like, well, it's not the wheel, and I take my hands off the wheel.
Oh, I fucking remember when you would do that all the time.
And I would try to hold it as long as possible.
Yeah.
There have been several times where people have grabbed the wheel.
Yeah. I'm one of those people.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny to me.
You did that shit on 127, which is this very, like, in-town road. I don't know if you remember that, but I fucking do.
Yeah. I think it was definitely worse when I did it up at Western.
Yeah.
And I was, like, going on a curvy road, and it was... I was only going, like, 35.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know, like, I still could have crashed, but, like...
Yeah.
I knew that I could have controlled my car in the direction it was going.
Uh-huh.
Because what people don't know is I put my knees on the wheel.
Oh. Dude, my uncle used to do that all the time. Like, we would be driving, or he'd be driving. I'd be, like, 7. And he would just text and just, like, drive with his knees. I'm sorry for calling you out like this. But that shit was creepy. That shit was scary to me.
See, my dad used to do that. Especially when, like, In the Air Tonight would play and the drum solo. He would do the beat on his chest while using his knees to drive.
Don't get me started on Phil Collins.
I know you don't like Phil Collins.
He has so many albums where it's just his face, and then what's on the back of his album? Oh, it's the back of his head. Isn't that so fucking... Oh my gosh, look at me, I'm Phil Collins. I've created my own counting system because I'm a jackass. Fuck you, Phil Collins. I fucking hate Phil.
We're making enemies on this podcast.
Ooh, I'm sure he's a nice guy. I just can't stand his music, nor him.
Not even like the Tarzan soundtrack?
I didn't fuck with it. I understand the appeal. Don't fuck with it. And then fucking Sister Studio. Ooh, let me make a song where it's made up and I just make a song.
That's all songs.
No, he was like, oh, I'm going to make this, and I want to make just a totally new word, and I'm going to do a song off of that. That's where Studio comes from.
Ah.
Yeah. The rage I feel, it knows no bounds.
Well, it's a good thing you've got good impulse control.
I
not, like,
do.
Going after him.
Well, I have good impulse control, and I can thank my family for that. They have shitty impulse control. It's like they're... I remember... This is dark. I think it's funny. But I remember being, like, sat down as a child and be like, hey, you're going to be an addict. And I'd be like, what? And they'd just be like, you come from a long line of addicts with bad addiction history, so you got to be careful. And I'd be like, oh, all right, dude. And then I'll see, like, my father would do, like, just crazy impulse. Have I told his recycling rule?
No.
So, this is going to sound really bad. I never knew it was a problem until I got older and there was cops involved. But my father would always have, like, one of those, like, those tall beers in a brown bag. Like, he was that douchebag.
Yeah.
And he'd be, like, drinking on the road, driving, and he would always throw the can outside the window. And I was a pretty, like, rule kid, and I would be like, why do you do that? That you're supposed to recycle those. That's recyclable. Aluminum is recyclable. You can recycle that. And he'd be like, I'm helping the homeless, Roland. All right? They can go out there, collect the cans, earn themselves a little cash. If you think about it, I'm a good person.
He said as he was drinking while driving his...
Oh my gosh. Dude, that shit was crazy. I never knew it was bad that someone was constantly, like, swerving while they were walking. I just thought that's how my father walked. Until, it was... Oh my gosh.
He just had his sea legs, like Captain Jack Sparrow.
Exactly. He had his sea legs. Camel gets mad at me because I'll tell these stories about my childhood, and she hates that I laugh about it. She's like, why are you laughing about it? This isn't funny. This is very traumatic. You need to talk about this. And I say, no. This is funny. And this is how I'm going to see my childhood.
Yeah, it's fun to laugh at it.
Yeah. Like, she got really upset. I was, like, with her family, and I was telling them, like, oh, yeah, my father would always threaten to throw me in the back of the trunk where there was an old man that's been in there for a week and all he's had is a juice box. Just funny shit my father would say. And she's like, that's not funny. I was like, yeah, my sister didn't think it was either. She would used to cry and scream. What a buzzkill she was. So she's not a fan of those stories.
I think they're funny.
No, I think they're... Oh my gosh. I remember one time This is my last one. This is my last story about my father, I promise. There was one time I was at Chick-fil-A and they were telling, like, family stories, this or that. And there was this, like, one girl who, I'm not going to say her name, but she would always be like, oh, my childhood was, like, weird. Like, my parents didn't let me eat food after 9. Just like weird, I don't know, like some weird shit. Like she was like, her childhood wasn't that bad, but it was just very suburbia.
My parents were the same way.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, like, not to interrupt. Just,
no, you're
like,
good.
It's understandable because, like, your body, once you go to bed, your body doesn't process the food.
Yeah.
So it's just,
Yeah.
It's just unhealthy. But,
to eat after 9?
Well, yeah, because, like, your body won't have time to fully break it down.
Yeah.
So, anyways, back to you.
No, you're good. No, you're good. Thank you. But I think I told the story. It might have been the old man thing of like, oh yeah, my father used to threaten to throw me in the back and everybody stopped working, which is never a good sign. No. They kind of just like slowly looked at me and they were like, what? And I was like, yeah, it's just funny. And they were like, how old are you? I was like, I don't know, 12. And they were like, did you think he was serious? Maybe like once or twice when I was a kid. And they're like, so at one point, your father threatened to throw you into the trunk with an old man that was clearly starving and dehydrated. And you thought that was normal? And I was like, guys, it's a funny story. I think we should be closing. I don't think we should let this distract us from doing our job. And that was the end of the conversation. That one girl was like, listen, haven't told some stories about how my childhood was fucked up, but I'm just going to go and tell you, your childhood was fucked up. And I was like, all right, I'm going to go stock the crackers. Don't mind me.
Stocking crackers.
Stocking crackers, man. That's what I do.
Just depends on how you spell stocking.
What?
Stocking or...
Oh.
You get the bit?
Stocking. Yeah. I didn't get... Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't know if I've talked about it on the podcast. I might have. I decided one day, impulsively, to make Lego versions of all the gang.
This is the impulse control we were talking about earlier.
I'll be honest, I spent more money than I should have.
How much did you spend?
Most of the stuff I had already.
Okay.
But I decided I wanted to, get all the pieces. And then as I was going through, I was like, oh, this is a really cool piece. I'll get this. Oh, dude, Thor's hammer? Yeah, I'll get that. Oh, dude, a chameleon? One of the original, like, Lego monkeys that have the yellow hands?
Oh, I had one of those.
Yeah, I
cool.
got one. I ended up spending, and this is all stuff that was shipped from the UK, I spent $25, not including shipping.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But I
thought that was going to be a lot worse. I'm not going to lie.
Well, I mean, I got, like, a decent amount of stuff from it, because, like, all the pieces were, like, most of them were under $1.
Okay.
So, but...
So you got 25, at least, different items.
Yeah.
Okay. Respect to the grind.
Yeah, some of them I probably should have checked to see if I had them first.
Are you serious? Did you have some of them?
I ended up getting a Harry Potter one that was like a gray hoodie with a maroon undershirt or a burgundy undershirt.
Yeah.
And then William was like, hey, here are these Legos that I don't need. I know you're like building your friends. And I looked at it and it was the exact same one I just bought and was getting shipped from England.
Damn. Do you impulsively buy a lot of things?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
yeah.
You've seen my Funko collection.
Oh, I know, but I wanted you to say it.
Yeah. I mean, we don't even have to talk about the Funkos. We can talk about the fact that, like, 2 months after Nate gifted me a lightsaber, I impulsively bought another one because I just wanted to have another one.
It was a different color, though.
It was a different color.
Yeah.
The hilt was different. Like, everything about it was different.
Yeah.
Just because I was like, it'd be cool to, like, custom build my own instead of getting one that was just, like, randomly picked.
Yeah.
No offense to Nate. Like, it's still a dope-ass gift.
Yeah, no, that was cool.
I still occasionally will turn it on and, like, swing it around in my room.
Dude, he was undefeated at Christmas. Like, it was just, like, back-to-back great Christmas gifts
from
Nate. It was he got me the Necronomicon, from Evil Dead, which he knows I'm a big fan of.
Speaking of which, did you know... I kind of want to start doing, like, fun facts each episode.
Okay.
So here's a fun fact. Do you know who did the soundtrack for Army of Darkness?
My poster is down. I don't know.
That's Evil Dead 2. The guy who did the soundtrack for Army of Darkness is famous composer Danny Elfman.
Really?
Yeah, he also did the soundtrack for Age of Ultron.
Okay, that makes sense.
Do you know what he did before he was a composer?
No.
He was a part of the band Oingo Boingo.
You're kidding.
And not just that.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious. He also voices Jack Skellington in Nightmare Before Christmas.
I knew that. That's still kind of trippy, though.
And I learned this because I was like, I need to know who voices Jack. I don't know his voice. There's nothing familiar about it. Like, I've never heard it before. But it's so good, and I'm like, I want to know who this is. And it was like, Danny Elfman. And I was like, that's not the same Danny Elfman, is it? And I looked at his bio... And it was like, yeah, he's composed soundtracks for tons of movies, and he was also in Oingo Boingo. And I was like, where did that come from?
That's a weird...
What do you mean he was in Oingo Boingo?
That's a weird band, by the way. Have you listened to Oingo Boingo?
Oh, yeah. Who hasn't listened to Weird Science?
Oh, what's that one creepy song? It's like, I like young girls or some shit like that. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know what song.
The lyrics, terrible. The song slaps.
Yeah. Yeah, it's there's a lot of songs like that. A lot of weird.
That would be good to make like a playlist of like songs that are awesome, but the lyrics are terrible. Girls by Beastie Boys. You know that's like one of my favorite songs of all time. Song, hella sexist.
Oh, yeah.
And that's kind of the point of the song, but still, it's bad when you're like, it's like, girls to do the laundry, girls... Cause I in my room.
Maybe we shouldn't sing. Like, everyone knows the Country Bears, right? You know the Country Bears?
You mean the Berenstain Bears?
No, the Country Bears.
Oh, wait.
Like the Disney, like...
Isn't that where, like, the kid from Malcolm in the Middle, the older brother, he was in it too?
You're thinking of the movie. I'm thinking of, like, the Disney phenomenon at Disney World.
Oh, I went to Disney World once. And
I'm pretty sure I'm going soon, so
yeah.
I'll send a video for you. But they have all these like singing animatronic bears, and there's one bear, fucking massive.
Yeah,
he's like Sam from season 7 of Forged in Fire. If anyone gets that,
Forged in Fire is a good show.
It's a great
We've talked
show.
about this.
But
I love when they slice in the gel man piece and like the
dude,
blood squirts. Doug
is a great dude.
Dude, he's cool. It cuts.
It will kill.
It will kill.
But the bear sings this really depressing, like Johnny Cash level kind of song, where it's like the banjo's kind of out of tune, and everyone remembers the song solely because like one of the lines is like blood in the sand, and like this is a kid's thing.
What?
Like it's just talking about like a murder. And I'm like, this is for kids. And it's so depressing and so dark. And like everything else is like it's all like happy and like, oh, I'm a bear that fell in love with another bear.
Yeah.
Or stuff like that. And then just this one dude just going, blood in the sand. It's so weird. Are you looking it up?
I'm looking up the movie Country Bears because I mean it's got to be based off of
that was a weird movie.
That was, I mean, look at that.
I remember I watched this trailer once and I said, I can never like drink and watch this movie. I would have legitimate nightmares.
Oh my gosh, Phil, can we please do that? That would be so fun. Do you want to know who's in that movie, by the way?
Who?
Christopher Walken, Haley Joel Osment, Diedrich Bader. He played Batman in Batman the Brave and the Bold.
Oh!
Yeah, that guy.
Hold on.
That guy.
Haley Joel Osment. He plays the kid bear, right?
Yeah. He plays Barry, spelled Beary.
Yeah, that was always a dumb joke.
That's how it goes. Queen Latifah's in this movie. There's a decent amount of people in here.
Well, it's a Disney movie.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm just going down the list and I just keep seeing. I gotta stop. Fucking Willie Nelson exhibit, isn't it?
Excuse me. I think Willie Nelson is one of the bears. Or is he just Willie Nelson in it?
He's Lumine?
I think that's one of the bears.
Is it? Okay. I don't know. That's Elton John's in it. I gotta stop looking at this. This is crazy. All right, we gotta watch this.
Okay, fine.
I think
We'll watch it.
yeah, we'll do a review because we just have to.
I have so many weird memories about that movie.
You go to Disneyland a lot. I was never a fan of it. When I remember when I was like in middle school, and my mom was like, "I have an announcement. We're going somewhere this summer," and I was like, "Oh my gosh, where?" She was like, "It's in Florida." I was like, "Legoland." She was like, "No."
Legoland sucks. I know I'm like building Legos.
Does it?
Well, okay.
I've never been.
When I went, I didn't have a whole lot of fun.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe things have changed.
Like there just wasn't that much to do. Yeah.
It was it was also like colder, and it was in Florida, so it was
Okay.
like Florida cold, so it was like, maybe don't go on a roller coaster.
Yeah. But I was like, "Is it Legoland?" She was like, "No." I was like, "Is it Universal?" And she was like, "No." And I was like, "Is it Disney World?" And she was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Okay." And she's like, It's Disney World." I was like, "I heard you. I heard you. I understand. I know what this is." And she was like, "I don't think you heard Disney World." So that was awkward. I wasn't a Disney kid. I don't know. I think that's probably what it was.
So I think the difference is I grew up in Florida.
Yeah.
We lived maybe like an hour or so away from Orlando and Lake Buena Vista, which is where Disney World is.
Yeah.
Up until like 10 years old, I had been to Disney probably like 20 times.
Mm-hmm.
Just because we got like those year passes.
Uh-huh.
And so we would just go whenever. And like I can't tell you how many times I was just in a stroller. I've got core memories at Disney. Like
Did you say a stroller?
yeah. Cuz I was like 4.
Oh, okay.
But one memory my mom will never let go of. We were sitting in the Peter Pan ride line. And there's like long line. And we're sitting there, it's hot, we're tired. My mom's like 6 or 7 months pregnant, and she looks at me and she goes, "Hey, Philip, if your hand's bigger than your face, it's a sign of intelligence." And I go, "Really?" And I put my hand in front of my face, and my mom slaps the back of my hand, and so I slap myself in the face.
That sounds on par for Julie.
And everyone in the line started laughing. I was like 7 or 8 years old. And I think that's why I can't talk to people in public a whole lot.
Oh my.
Like I was so embarrassed.
Dude, that sucks. I'm sorry. What's your first memory?
This is going to be weird.
They usually are.
But my first memory is it was myself, Nick, and his brother Matt.
Yeah.
And it was the day of us walking on the beach with my grandmother. One of us had a stick, and if we saw a jellyfish like on the beach, we'd poke it and just like move it out of the way.
Okay.
Like if you step on it, like.
Yeah.
By the way, if someone tells you have to piss on it, there's so many things wrong with that. It's so bad for you to piss on a jellyfish sting.
I've heard that it doesn't cure it, but it like
makes it worse.
I thought it like prevents it.
No, it
keeps you down for.
Do you know what piss is?
I mean, yeah.
It's all the bad stuff that your body couldn't process. What do you think that's going to do for a jellyfish sting?
I don't know.
It's going to do nothing. It's probably going to make it worse. So don't piss on
How the fuck how did that start then? I never understand.
Probably the same thing as like if you put your hand in front of your face, it's a sign of intelligence or whatever.
Oh, it was like a prank?
Yeah, it was just like, "Hey, I got to piss. Let me piss on you."
So what are you supposed to do when you get stung by a jellyfish?
I'm not entirely sure. I can never find out. I am like super allergic to it. Like it will like close up my throat and
really?
kill me. Yeah. It's one of the only things I'm like really allergic to.
Yeah.
So, yikes. But yeah, it was just one of my first memories was like popping jellyfish and moving them out of the way.
How old were you? Do you know?
I don't know.
That's fair.
What about you? What's your first?
This is funny too. It's not, but I remember being like, it was like pre-K or something, and I remember it was like pre-K was at this certain church, and I remember seeing my other grandmother like pull up, and I was like, oh wow, that's weird. Mama's going to pick me up today, and that's my first memory. I found out like later in life that I think I told my grandmother this, and she was like, oh my gosh, that was probably the night we had to fight for you back. I was like, what? What do you mean? And she's like, well, your parents were going through it, and, we didn't want Wes to see you, and Janie decided to take it into her hands and try to take you from pre-K without telling us. And I was like, what the fuck? Dude, it's crazy, the stuff that you don't remember and remember. And especially, like, when you get older and you hear about just stuff that happens, it's just insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I'm not trying to be dark. Like, it's fine. Like, they're good. My grandmothers are good now, but it's just crazy. I'm not going to get into it, but I was talking to Elle, and we were talking about, like, serious shit that happened, and it just, like, started, like, connecting dots. And I was like, oh, my gosh. That's why my family is... Like, have you had that moment? Like, have you talked to your, like, parents and be like, hey...
No. I don't think we've had, like, similar instances.
Okay.
Like, most of the conversations involving that kind of stuff...
Yeah.
It's normally like, yeah, when we went to the zoo, you decided it'd be funny to hide in the bushes.
Yeah.
And to freak us out, because I like doing that.
Yeah.
And they said I waited 15 minutes in those bushes. I have no memory of waiting 15 minutes in a bush.
Wow.
But they, like, were crying and looking for me, and then I popped out. I was like, ta-da! They were very upset.
That's funny, though.
But, like...
I can imagine, like, small you just like, ta-da!
Yeah. I was a dick when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Like, I would do that. Like, I would hide in, like... You know how they have, like, the circular hanger things at, like, a Macy's?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'd, like, hide in the middle of those.
Same. It was a good hiding spot.
Who would?
It's nice.
It's like a whole other world in there.
Yeah, it's, like, comfy. You got all these different fabrics, just kind of hanging out by you.
What's your favorite kind of fabric?
Ooh. That's tough. Let me see this.
I didn't actually want you to, like, think about it. I mean, this was just like a joke.
Whatever flannel is.
Probably so flannel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but isn't, like, flannel, like, cotton polyester?
Fuck if I know.
Man.
Do I look like I'm an expert?
I don't know. Do you have a favorite fabric?
I almost said vanilla.
I don't think that's... okay.
Silk.
Silk?
I like the feel of it. Either that or, like, soft, fluffy stuff.
Velvet grew on me. I used to not like velvet, but I don't know. I kind of like it.
Sequin.
Sequin. Really? You like sequin?
Oh, I love sequin pillows. I like sleeping on.
Dude.
I'm kidding. I could, if I ever meet someone who sleeps on a sequin pillow, I imagine they also eat pineapple with the skin on it.
Dude, that's a terrifying person. Because sequin is cool for, like, maybe, like, a throw pillow. But
I just I had a chill down my spine just thinking of someone just taking a bite out of a pineapple like it was a regular apple.
Yeah. Dude, whatever happened to those, like, pillows that if you rub the whatever down, it would, like, show a picture, and then you rubbed it, like, the opposite way to show a different picture?
Sequin.
Well, sequin was a type, but there was also, like, a different... But sequin works, yeah.
Well, I can't think of any other kind.
I don't know what it's called, but yeah, those sequin pillows, those were cool.
I've often looked for, like, different kind of pillows like that. Like, there's the Nicolas Cage ones.
There's so many Nicolas Cage ones.
I'll be honest, for one of your birthdays, I did look into trying to get a Bruce Campbell one, but they don't exist.
That's a shame. What a guy. What a dude.
Kind of to loop back into the whole thing of, like, talking about our brains.
Yeah.
I just had a thought while we were having that conversation, and I was like, do you think people are ever going to make Rule 34 of us?
Oh my gosh. I think if we get to, like, a certain following, for sure. The question is, like, who's going to top who in the fan art most? Because, like, no matter what, like, there's going to be Rule 34 of, like, me topping you and then you topping me.
Roland, there's a first time for everything. I think there may be one of you topping me. There's a first time for everything.
Dude, that would be...
All I ask is if they do make a Rule 34 of us.
Yeah.
I want a penis tattoo.
What penis tattoo? Like, what, you got, like, something in mind?
The tribal armband that all the douchebags get on their arm. Those around my dick.
That's funny.
That would be...
I like that.
Could you imagine that? Like, just like the fire or like the barbed wire.
Oh my gosh. Missed chance for the Dale. To have, like, a Dale penis tattoo.
How would that work? Like, would it just be like a Dale?
Yeah. Like a little...
I'd do that, like, on its side, on my balls. So
I'd put it right next to it, kind of like on my thigh a little bit, you know? But like up there.
I guess.
You know, a little tease type of deal. Like, ooh.
Did I tell you that if I could find a way to make a tiki shirt for, like, this show,
Uh-huh.
I would make a tiki shirt, but instead of, like, leaves or like, tiki totems, it was just going to be a Dale, like, over and over and over again.
What do you mean a tiki? Do you mean just like a Hawaiian?
Well, yeah, that's technically they're called tiki shirts, not Hawaiian shirts.
Okay. All
or
right.
floral shirts.
Yeah.
But, yeah, just basically one of those, but it's just, like, a bunch of Dales all over the place.
That'd be cool.
The number, not...
No. Like, I understand.
Space.
What else would you put on it? Because it can't just be, like, one thing. It's got to have, like...
Well, I mean, they're going to be varying sizes.
That'd be cool.
I mean, I could try and make one.
Yeah.
Figure it out. Did I ever send you the picture of the Doug Dimmadome shirt?
The what? No. Did you know that they made a Fairly Odd Parents TV show? Live action?
Yeah, I did hear about that.
Timmy Turner's in the first episode, and that's all you ever see of him.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like his cousins are the main characters. And it's crazy. Whoever the hell they played Timmy Turner with, they did...
Well, you know why Drake Bell didn't come back, right?
Oh, well, I know Drake Bell was not going to be it, but like the guy that they picked looked like just like this weird crackhead.
Also, here's the picture.
Oh, that's kind of cool. I kind of like that.
It's his hat is the stripes on the shirt.
Yeah.
Because, you know, he's got a... Why did he have a long hat? Don't look.
What you got?
No.
Tell me.
Don't look at my toe pics.
Show me.
Fine.
I thought that was your penis.
No,
okay, let me elaborate.
It's a little tiny toe.
I didn't mean it like that. I meant like I just saw skin and like a straight line, and I was like, don't show me.
Oh my god. So I have two pictures right next to each other.
Is that Dobby the house elf?
It's a Lego Dobby the house elf with like a horrified look on his face. Like, look at that.
Oh, it looks so sad.
I was originally going to use that as your Lego face.
Aww.
But then I was like, nah, I'll actually make a good one. And then I have a picture of Kevin Bacon from Trevor's.
Dude, Tremors, that's a good movie. I remember when you went through... I know you didn't watch all of them, but you like kind of went through the series.
I watched all but the most recent one. Which is they're on like an island.
Fucking crazy.
The first Dale were really good.
Yeah.
4 was kind of where it started slipping.
Dude, the second one was so good. I think we've talked about this on the podcast.
Oh, yeah, second one is like easily the best one.
Yeah.
Except for maybe the first.
Yeah.
But 5 is where the story gets weird.
Uh-huh.
So basically it was like originally Kevin Bacon and Fred Ward. Is it Fred Ward or Ward?
Ward, I would imagine.
Okay, Fred Ward and Kevin Bacon, their characters are like the main characters.
Yeah.
In the first one. And then in the second one, Fred Ward comes back to be his character again. And then he's like the main character. And then the third one kind of takes like a shift. And they're like, oh, yeah, no, Bert's actually the main character.
Mm-hmm.
He's in every single one after that. He's like the main guy. In one of them, he's literally just like in a hospital bed for most of the movie. Because he's like dying.
Oh my gosh.
So... in the fifth one, they have Africanized worms, because they're in Africa.
Uh-huh.
And they're, like, super dangerous. And, like, even venomous.
Ooh.
And then you find out in the sixth one, when they're in Canada, and it's all, like, frozen over, and they're tunneling through the snow.
Ice Tremors.
Yeah. You find out that they're venomous, and that he was infected with the venom.
Oh.
From the last one.
Okay.
I think that was when I kind of fell off of it. And then the seventh one was where they're on the island. And someone has a minigun, and that's where I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
Too unrealistic for me.
Speaking of weird horror movies, since it's St. Patrick's Day, I went through the whole, like, Leprechaun series.
Dude, it's so good.
I don't know if that's the word.
The first one's really good.
The first one's pretty good.
Jennifer Aniston's, like, first movie.
By the way, why did they do her so dirty on the poster? You can tell that's Jennifer Aniston, but like in like the nose area,
it's like very shadowed.
Yeah, it's like really weird contouring.
I don't know. I like that they got Warwick Davis to do it. I mean, he's very talented.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, it was crazy that he did that for all of those movies except for
the new one, I think.
No, well, there's a newer one where he actually reprised his role.
Really?
Yeah, I think
I didn't know there was. I was thinking like.
I think it was like 17 years he was away from the role.
Oh my god!
Because Leprechaun 2 or Back to the Hood 2 came out in like 2004 or something like that. So maybe it was like 15 years. I might get I think I have my dates wrong, but there was
Leprechaun, Back to the Hood 2.
Actually a decent movie. It's a pretty good movie.
I remember there was one where he knocked a dude's gold tooth out and took it.
That's the first one.
The first...
First Back to the Hood. That's my bad. Well, no. Okay. Here's the thing. I'm sorry. He's taken gold tooths out a decent amount of times. Like, he did it in the second one. I think he did it in the third one, too. Kind of rusty on the space one. I haven't watched that one yet.
What was with that, by the way? What was with,
the
like...
space one?
In the 90s when it was,
There's always a space sequel.
Yeah, like they always had a space... Because, like, Jason X was in the space and the future.
Yeah.
Leprechaun in space. I'm pretty sure they did a Hellraiser in space.
Yeah, they did.
What else did they do?
There's one more, and I know we're missing it. This is going to kill us.
Horror movies. But I'm trying to think, like, what are some other... What would be some horror movies that definitely shouldn't have gone into space? Like, that would go into... You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, what would they be like if they went into space?
Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I would love to see that. I'm not going to lie. That would have been amazing. I would have dropped if I heard that they made a Space Chainsaw Massacre, I would flip shit.
It would make sense, though, because, like, you know, like Houston, Texas.
Oh my gosh!
Then, like, they chase...
Are we writing a movie right now? Are we writing a movie? Okay.
All right, you know what? James Gunn, we could be friends again if you help us write this movie.
If you make this movie, then your debt is cleared.
Yeah, you don't owe me $1.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, like, we could do this.
Did you watch the new Leatherface movie?
No.
And neither did I.
I'll be honest. The only one I've watched is the 2013 one.
Yeah, I watched that one.
With Alexandra Daddario.
Yeah.
Daddario?
Yeah.
Yeah. That one's great. I love that.
Yeah, that was a cool one. It was weird, but it was cool.
But it was
like,
good.
I liked it.
And I can understand the whole thing of, like, when people are criticizing it and they talk about the one scene where he's in the fair and he throws his chainsaw.
Yeah.
And people are like, it's Texas. He's dead. Like, someone shot him. Everyone at that fair is packing heat.
True. It's true.
I'm like, you know what? Yeah, no. Yeah. He threw his main weapon several times in that movie.
Horror sequels are so interesting to me because they either like beat the first one to become a lot scarier, they're a lot cooler, or they have just a totally weird continuation of it, or they kind of forget about the first one and they're making their own thing, but it's still a sequel.
Do you remember Wes Craven's New Nightmare?
Yeah, that was a real meta...
It was like Nightmare on Elm Street, but it was real.
Yeah.
And, like, Wes Craven starred in it, or, like...
Yeah.
Well, it was the girl who played Nancy starred again, but, like, as herself.
Yeah.
And then, like, Wes Craven was in it.
Yeah.
As himself.
Yeah, the whole movie was, like... The movie is real inside the movie, but now the movie character is coming out.
It's like the Human Centipede thing.
Yeah, Human Centipede too. Yeah,
Human Centipede was
and Dale. That was that was even weirder one.
Like the concept behind it was so weird.
Yeah, and whoever made the second one, I'm sorry, but they're going to hell. That was such a dark and disturbing movie.
I mean, it's just a weird, dark, gross thing.
Yeah. With a lot of, like, gore movies, the whole point is just, like, how far can we gross out our audience? And I'm never too big of a fan of it because that's the only thing that they have going for it, you know?
Yeah. Hellraiser, I think, did that one pretty well.
I'm so excited for the reboot.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They're bringing, they're finally being book accurate.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
By the way, this is funny. So, an actor that I've worked with before, he's going to be in it. And I texted, like, this old film group chat with all, like, the assistant directors. And I was like, oh, my gosh, guys, Drew is going to be in the new Hellraiser movie. I guess I'll be one of his fanboys, too. And I have not heard from them in 2 months.
Oh. Oh, no. Is he going to be like a main guy, or is it going to be like when we were watching Righteous Gemstones and that one dude you worked with had like a 2-minute scene?
That was cool though. I didn't notice him. So yeah. No, like he's like actually in it. He's probably going to be like one of the people that dies.
Nice. I want to be one of those.
You want to die?
Like on screen. But I want to go in like a really cool way. Like not like oh, I was stabbed with a machete. Oh. That was almost really bad.
You're good. You can restart with that sentence again.
Well, I lost it. So let's end it. Thank you for listening to everyone. Except for James Gunn. You owe me $1. Or you can do an episode of the podcast with us and help us write this Texas Chainsaw in Space movie.
Space Chainsaw Massacre. In space.
Okay.
Tagline. Nobody can hear the chainsaws in space.
In space, no one can hear you. I don't want to say cream. Why is that?
Why?
I don't know.
Oh.
I told you, my brain don't do